Brad here from Standard Chartered. Hi, Tommy. We talk a lot in our organization around transformational change and having transformational leaders versus programmatic ones. And I think it links to your increase in productivity. But we're seeing, again, more kind of empirical data coming out to say, actually, that there are bigger gains using programmatic approach versus this transformational. So we all believe that transformational is the way to go. But now there's kind of a question mark, and I was wondering if you wanted to make a comment to that.
Yeah, I'd actually like to go back into your own bank and ask the question, specifically if you were to compare the results of, what is it, the UAE branch business and the stellar results they have had, and I think they rank, what, number one for 2 years in a row in their peer group inside Standard Chartered? Am I allowed to say this publicly? Okay. And if you were to look back and if we were to talk specifically about, does Mohammed use a programmatic approach or is he more transformational in his leadership side of that branch? What you have there is a leader who, this particular branch network has achieved exceptional results comparing it to its peer group within Standard Chartered. Okay, the similar sized markets is my understanding of the peer group. And when I was having coffee with Mohammed not too long ago, he began to explain that he's actually thinking about how his leaders are producing future leaders into the business as well. So he's looking generations out. He was, in my view, okay, you work with him, I don't, I just get the coffee side of this equation. From my view, he was looking at it from the transformational side, really understanding that. The programmatic side, the question I would have is, are you looking at programmatic data sitting on top of market growth data? Is it the programmatic side that drove the growth? Or is it the market that drove the growth, but yet they were using the programmatic side? That's a question I would want answered up front. I would guess it's probably the latter. If a market's growing rapidly and we're using the programmatic side, okay, fine, for getting started. Where's that going to happen on the transformational side? What do you do if you walk into a market that doesn't have the stellar results right now, that doesn't have the market fundamentals in place? Is the programmatic side going to drive rapid growth? No, the transformational side will. Other questions? Everybody ready to leave?
How much is the rapid growth sustainable? How much can you maintain it?
It depends on how it's done. This is a great question, actually. And if you really look at it, there's not a lot of companies that have sustained rapid growth for long periods of time. I would say if you put strong leadership fundamentals, if it's a leadership-driven rapid growth model, it's sustainable. If it is a market reaction rapid growth model, it's not sustainable. So if you were to take what we were saying here, because we're getting into the crux of really looking at what is it the leader does in the equation, if you're building your rapid growth strategy around the style and an approach of leadership, it will be a sustainable model. And I didn't get into this today, but we actually do look at the sustainable side and how do you keep that going as well. So for example, building confidence was the next point down on the leadership capability aspect. Building confidence of the workforce will definitely articulate into rapid growth for you as the confidence levels come up. Or it will definitely articulate into a more rapid growth. I don't want to put it in the top category. By building confidence in a workforce, that's very sustainable. But yes, somebody.
Tommy, we are in a rapid growth company, and like you said, capability is the key word. And I know you said you didn't want to get into the how, but is there a stepping stone, a first point? Where do you start building capability where you've actually have to play catch up? First.
Absolutely, yeah. There is. We have a phrase we use, and if, for those of you who have done any work with us, you've probably come across this phrase. It's called the diary of a second. Okay, the diary of a second. If your managers, okay, if every leader in a business will keep and execute what's called a diary of a second, you will build the capability. This isn't HR driven, this isn't training driven. What it goes through is in the course of a day, you have hundreds of 1 second snapshots, fair? So I'm going through and I see something and I'm like, wow, that was really good. Wow, that was off a little bit. And I'm having these 1 second snapshots all throughout the day. At the end of the day, how many of those seconds do we remember? Pretty much zero, okay? Then we're going through the next day or the next day and the next day, and time goes by and I realize that, wow, that was really good again. Wow, that was bad. And our attention goes to, wow, that was bad. Wow, that was bad. Wow, that was bad. And I'm realizing, sorry, what's your name? Sorry, Pianka? Pianka? Okay, Pianka, sorry to pick on you. But Pianka's, wow, not doing well. Okay? And finally, I get terribly frustrated by it, and I'm irritated by it, and we take reactionary measures against what could have built over days, weeks, months, years of those 1-second build-ups. At no point in there did I actually write down what it was she did at the 1-second moment. At no point did I turn to her and say, you know, if you improve here, it will have this positive impact into the future. Literally capturing the 1-second moments of the day. So turning to somebody who does well and saying, that's exactly what we want to see. Good job in highlighting it, because he's going to go brag about, wow, the boss just told me I'm doing well. And everybody else wants to know, what is it you're doing well on that the boss bragged about? Because I want to do that as well. I would like some of that attention as well. And on the other side, that's it. It's the simplicity of it. Being a great leader is executing on the simplicity of it, not the complexity of it.
Tommy, the biggest challenge that a rapidly growing business has is creating those new leaders. Because when you start with one, and that's you. And now, the people that start with you very early on, you haven't got the resources, you haven't got the capability, the expertise, so you start with people that possibly are not the people that you will need in 10 years or in 5 years. Now, how do you create new leaders? Do you keep working on the ones that already know the culture and you build their capabilities, or you parachute the new ones that find very hard to integrate and frustrate others? So it's creating that leadership and number of those rapid growth leaders. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, actually, this is a huge bucket. There's several thoughts that are going through my mind right now to answer. I'm going to answer two sides to this. One is, and this is a bit unpopular of a phrase in the GCC, one is that great performing CEOs regularly say they didn't make their hard people decisions fast enough. So I'm looking at you going, you're really not the leader we need to have, and I give the benefit of the doubt, 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 and time goes by, and the whole time we're suffering as a result of it. I'm not articulating you fire them if you work in a business where that's part of your culture. You can think about it. If you work in a business to where firing and terminating is not part of your culture, there's other ways to do with that. So one is make the tough people decisions fast. The second side is hire and promote slowly. And do it off of evidence, not hope. Okay, so just because I look at you and go, you know what, you're a good performer. Wow, I'm going to promote you now. Find out if he's going to be a good leader. Okay, so really think on that. But to get to the crux, how do you make a good leader? The key part is understanding what a good leader means in your business. That's the most important part, and it's the piece that I would say a lot of people, skip, okay? Over 50% of the companies absolutely skip this idea of really understanding what a good leader in their business will be anyway. And the second side of this is they skip it and then they just don't use it. They don't put it into place. So you really have to understand, if we were to sit down and I were to go through, I know for a fact can I say your company name? At Al-Futtaim, they have articulated specifically what good leadership looks like, and they're working to work to that level. Then I can actually figure out, is he going to be good or not good? Am I going to play? So the beginning is understand what it is, and then it becomes very easy to find people that align with that and to build their capability. But if you skip step one, it's a lost hope. Thank you very much.